kids. I don't know how many of you are licensed scuba divers, but I am. And my experience as a diver were the inspiration for Chapter 10 in Elvia and the Gift of Passion and other sections of the book as well. In this video, I'm going to read an excerpt from the book where Elvia learns to dive for the first time. You know, when I was a beginner, my instructor was a laid-back guy who taught me the basics in the pool while making sure I'd be safe on my first open water dive in calm Folsom Lake near Sacramento. But Elvia's experience is a bit different, to say the least. Her instructor, a no-nonsense, salty old sailor named Axe Lander, is definitely not laid back. He takes his job very seriously. You see, Elvia is about to embark on a voyage aboard a submarine, and he wants to make sure she can escape from the sub and live to tell the tale if it sinks. He's not going to cut her any slack in her training because she may have to save herself one day, and she needs to know how. Is Axe too hard on Elvia? I'll let you decide. Let's listen in. When Elvia reappeared on the deck, Axe was waiting for her impatiently. "Suit up and let's get going," he barked. "You got to complete 2 open water dives, little sailor. Chop, chop." Once again, Elvia managed to don her gear in less than 60 seconds, her hands shaking all the while, though Axe simply grunted his approval, seemingly unimpressed. Axe taught her a few hand signals for communicating underwater. Thumbs up means you're okay. Thumbs down means you aren't, you need help. If you do this, he made a motion as if to slit his throat. It means you're out of air, not good. If you point up toward the surface, well, that's where you're going. Elvia repeated the rules until she got them right. Axe didn't need any gear to paddle. Wearing only a loincloth, he dove into the gently rocking waves. His body was beautifully adapted to paddling. He motioned Elvia over to the side of the deck. "Stop that regulator in your mouth and bite down with your teeth." "That's right. Now take a deep breath. Always make sure the air is flowing before you begin your dive. More than one little sailor's messed that up, I tell ya." Elvia did as she was told and caught a lungful of air. She gave the thumbs up signal, but with a sinking sensation that was most unpleasant. "Okay," Axe said doubtfully as he bobbed in the waves. "I guess you did that okay. Now turn on your dive watch." No, not like that. "Press the red button for a couple of seconds, little sailor, till it turns green." Elvia did as he instructed, and the face of the watch lit up. 00 for time and 00 for depth. "Good?" he asked. Elvia gave a limp thumbs up, practically in tears now. "All right then, press that regulator flat against your face. Flat, I say, as you jump in. You don't want to be thrashing about looking for it once you hit the water." Elvia had no intention of entering the water quickly. Instead, she sat down and eased herself in, holding onto the deck the whole time for security. While she pinned the regulator onto her face with her left hand to keep it firmly in place and continued to breathe, she steadied herself with her right. It was an awkward, unfamiliar move, but she managed it. To her relief, she didn't sink. With her BCD full, she was remarkably buoyant. All it took was a couple of kicks with her dive boots now and then to keep her head above water. She let go of the deck and allowed her body to rise and fall with the gentle swells, sucking in air from her regulator, breathing freely. She tried not to think about the depth of the water below her and what it would be like to drown. "Okay, Findling," he mumbled. "Here comes the dangerous part. To sink, release some air from your BCD. Nice and slow, not too fast. Remember, when you're going to surface, pump air back in. Think you got it? Hope so. More than one little sailor." But Elvia wasn't listening. She wanted to get the lesson over with. She released some air from her BCD, and the response was immediate. She found herself sinking slowly until her mask was completely underwater, leaving only the crown of her head above the waves. She sucked on her regulator, and her lungs filled. She thought, okay, I'm still okay. She rose a few inches as her lungs expanded, but then she exhaled. She came right back down. Apparently, it wasn't just the BCD that helped divers control their buoyancy. They could use their breathing too. She released a little more air, and as she sank a few more feet, she looked around until she caught Axe's eyes. The water was clear, thank goodness. She could see a long distance. He wiggled his fingers, motioning her to swim after him. She pressed the BCD valve with her forefinger, intending to let out more air, but rose to the surface again. Oh no, she thought, reversing the move with her thumb. Down she went until she was hanging weightless about 10 feet down. Axe gave her a dark look, as if to say, well, you messed that up, little sailor, straight out the gate. But Elvia tried to ignore him. When she gave the thumbs up sign again, he seemed satisfied and paddled off. Elvia swam behind him, just off to one side, so she could avoid his wake. As Axe went deeper, she released more air, concentrating hard on her task. She felt an uncomfortable fullness in her ears from the increasing water pressure, and she struggled to clear them. They passed through a school of colorful yellow fish that darted this way and that, but Elvia was too preoccupied to notice. Learning to scuba dive is a lot like learning to ride a bike. At first, all you can think about is what's right in front of you and whether you're doing everything right. When I took my first dive, I don't think I noticed a single fish. I was much too busy concentrating on maintaining my buoyancy and clearing my ears of the uncomfortable full sensation that I feared would burst my eardrums. I was a lot like Elvia on my first dive. But over time, diving became quite natural, and I had some spectacular experiences in the crystal clear aqua waters off the Cayman Islands, Hawaii, and Zanzibar. In future videos, I'll take you deeper into scuba diving and we'll enter the world of saturation diving and cave diving. Those are especially dangerous versions of the sport and absolutely fascinating too. Stay tuned.